Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Last Week in Esports. My name's Trainer Jared TV. And like I said last week, esports kind of almost in an off season as we wait for, the last few really big events of 2023. So this week, we're going to be talking more about some of the drama and news that's really hitting the esports scene this week. So without further ado, let's dive right into it.
Baker, what was that?
Cloud9 are your E-League Major champions!
This is Rocket League!
There's always drama when it comes to Valorant, and this week is no different. So Evil Geniuses won VCT Worlds. Big congratulations. Fantastic for them. But it turns out that Evil Geniuses is not going to pay them that much. So this comes off the news that EG has dropped their reserve roster, and now they have told their players that they can explore other options, or if they want to stay on Evil Geniuses, to expect significant pay cuts. This team did just win you a world championship, by the way. Now I understand. Truly, esports is a very inflated market, hugely inflated salaries, but speed running your team's PR into the ground. I mean, they are truly doing the best they can. Terrible Worlds win merch release, dropped their reserve roster filled with like staples of Valorant, honestly. And then now announcing this, not sure what their plans are going to be. Would probably expect the Evil Geniuses roster to start finding other opportunities. There are teams that are making maybe a little bit of money or can afford to continue paying these outrageous salaries. But for right now, Evil Geniuses is not looking so hot. Interesting news this week, at least in my opinion, around the Dota 2 Pro Circuit. The Dota 2 Pro Circuit will be ceasing to exist after this 2023 season. Now, for those who don't know, the DPC is this format, basically, that Dota 2/Valve has that helps teams find their way to the World Championship. For those who might not remember, Dota 2 before this was filled with almost seemingly random tournaments that Valve would say, oh, well, if you win this one, you have a ticket to Worlds. The DPC changed that. And honestly, most people thought for the better. It was very good for the pros, organization-wise, like understanding what you need to do to get to Worlds. But with that, DPC has acknowledged that it really messed with the variety and the personality of the game. Things became less fun and monotonous and monogamous. Every event looked the same. There was no variety, no ingenuity, no creativity. And so with that, the DPC has announced that they are going to cease this tournament format at the end of 2023. I personally think this is good. I think this will help revitalize the game, and they think the same. They hope that this will help bring some interest back to the scene and, make things a little bit more fun. The International 2023 will be coming up shortly. Will be the end of it. Should be a great watch, but it will be very interesting to see what happens after the DPC wraps up and what 2024 has in store. The world schedule has been released. Starting in about a month, I think around October 10th, we're going to have a month and like 10 days of League of Legends. I'll throw up all the screenshots here where you can see kind of what the stages are looking like. We have the play-in stage. It's going to be starting October 10th. It's going to last about a week. We have the Swiss stage starting on October 18th, and that will be lasting about 10 days as well, wrapping up on October 29th. The knockout stage starting in November, and that will be wrapping up on November 12th. And then a week later, the final stage will be set on November 19th, where we watch the two best teams play against each other for the World Championship. Super excited for this. We also have our list of the world's qualified teams. I'll also throw that up real quick. Personally, going into this, if you're not expecting like JDG or Gen.G to win, you've just not been paying attention. It will be really interesting. I think there could be some great upsets. I'd love the new format. Tons of League of Legends to watch. I'm super looking forward to October 10th when all this kicks off. And some somber news. NRG is going to be leaving Apex. NRG Sweet did announce this the other day and talked about it briefly on his stream about how NRG is leaving the Apex scene. And I think it's really important to note the reasoning behind it. Sweet talks about how EA really doesn't effectively partner with organizations, which has led to a lot of legacy orgs leaving Apex. We've had G2, Liquid, Cloud9, and more all leave Apex, citing EA not being a great partner for them. Even talking about partnerships, Cloud9 left Rocket League notoriously several years ago because of the poor partnership. Now, I'm not here to comment on EA's position on this. I'm not sure what their partnerships look like or what EA is really expecting. But it is sad news to have NRG leaving Apex, which is one of the most popular Apex teams by far, probably just behind TSM. And for a team that's had a lot of success, I think this is a pretty significant loss. We did say that their team is going to kind of split up, probably go their own ways, play on other orgs, but still continue to chase that competitive Apex experience. I notoriously don't like Karmine Corp, mostly because their team always seems to beat up the North American teams in Rocket League, and I'm a big Rocket League fan. But I do respect the hell out of the Blue Wall. And what an amazing week for them. So Karmine Corp hosted a really big event called KCX3, where they talked about signings and they had esport events and they had a bunch of other announcements. But we're going to dive into a few of them here. First of all, amazing event. Thousands and thousands of people showed up. The French really, honestly, showcase an incredible amount of esports support when it comes to supporting their Blue Wall. They are truly the org that everyone probably should aspire to be. I don't know their bookkeeping or anything or how much money they're making, but after some of these announcements, I think they might be doing pretty well. They've kind of announced that they are going to be partnering with a new arena that's going to be built in France. It's unbelievable. The footage they showed, the ideas that they have, it is a pretty dang big deal. This arena is going to have a subscription-based service. I'm not sure how that's going to look, but probably something more like a membership along the lines for the bigger fans. Going to have 3,000 spots and will be really used for these watch parties and hosting events. And honestly, huge shout out to Karmine Corp. This is an unbelievable announcement. I hope the best for them. I might be growing into a little bit of a K-Core fan myself, but keep that on the down low. And with that, that'll do it for this week and last week in esports. Thank you so much for watching. As always, comment and tell me if I missed something, or tell me how much you absolutely love this show because it is the greatest content on this side of the Mississippi. Whatever your prerogative is. Thank you all for hanging out and watching, and GG's.